You're listening to the ESO Network, your station for all things geek.
Hi, I'm Joe Heath.
I'm Toni Heath.
And this is the Watch-A-Thon of Rassilon.
That's true.
Yep. You ready?
Yes.
All right, let's do it. Today we're going to be talking about the 8th and 9th episodes of the 3rd season of Doctor Who, Human Nature and the Family of Blood, which aired from May 26, 2007 to June 2nd, 2007.
True facts!
And joining us today, we have a returning guest, Mike Gordon.
Howdy! It's been a while. I'm glad to be back. Thank you. Glad to see that you guys are still doing this.
We're doing it a little slower than we have in the past, but we're still doing it.
Well, we're still going.
That happens as you get older.
Yep.
Believe you me.
I have no idea how we were doing this bi-weekly.
I know how.
How?
We had different jobs.
We had different jobs. And also more energy in our bones.
Yeah. My bones are out.
Yeah.
So how have you been since New Earth?
Been good. Things are things, you know. Doing the podcasting, doing the writing, doing the publishing, having a lot of fun, and continuing to watch Doctor Who.
I think since I can't remember exactly when we dropped New Earth, but I'm pretty sure an entire Doctor aired in between.
Yes, at least one. I think, yeah. I think we actually got maybe two. I think we had 14 and 15 run in that time period. So, yeah, that was 2 Doctors ago.
And one of them was Tennant, and now we're talking about Tennant again. But Tennant Mark 1.
Maybe 3 Doctor. We don't know.
There's so many Doctors. I think we need a third David Tennant. Well, I mean, we do have 3.
A third
we need
Tennant.
a 4th David Tennant.
Goodness gracious, how many David Tennants do we need?
I think we need enough to do a 5 Doctor special with all Tennants.
You want 5 David Tennants?
Yeah. Actually, I want 10 Tennants.
We do kind of get 2 David Tennants, we get 2 David Tennants here in this story. That's one of the reasons why I like the story so much, is because we do get 2 of them here.
That's true. I was thinking the next episode is the official Dr. Light episode, but this one's kind of Dr. Light as well.
It's true. Yes. Yeah, absolutely. You're right. In a weird sort of way. It's not David Tennant Light, but it's Dr. Light.
I always find that fascinating. Like I watched this old serial called Spy Smasher, and he has a twin brother in it. And there's an episode where like Spy Smasher isn't doing much, but his brother is. And I was like, oh, it's good that they gave him an episode. And I'm like, it's the same actor. But I want to do a quick summary, and then we'll dive into talking about stuff. I have a serial title that I've given this, and I've come up with new titles for the individual episodes, because I'm a weirdo. My serial title is called Being Human.
Oh, God.
Part 1, Dreams of the Doctor. In 1913, school teacher John Smith has strange dreams about being a time-traveling alien that he shares with a maid named Martha and a nurse named Joan, the latter of whom he has a bit of a crush on. One of the students, Baines, goes to find some beer and stumbles upon an invisible spaceship where he gets possessed by an alien. We then learn that Martha is keeping an eye on John Smith because he's actually the Doctor who locked away his Time Lord self in a pocket watch and made himself human to escape aliens that are chasing him down. Unfortunately, a psychic boy named Latimer steals the pocket watch when it speaks to him. The aliens possess more people and also make a scarecrow army. They soon find John Smith. Part 2, Doctor of Mine. John, Martha, and Joan escape and make their way to the school. The aliens follow and are confronted by children with guns. After getting the watch back, Martha wants John to become the Doctor again, but he doesn't want to. He doesn't want to go. Eventually he does, though, and the Doctor blows up the alien ship and does monstrous things to the aliens. Joan declines to adventure with the Doctor, and they leave. Latimer dodges a bomb with psychic knowledge. Then, when he's old, he sees the Doctor and Martha at a commemoration. And that is my summary.
Good job.
Thank you. So, what do we want to talk about first? I think the first thing I want to mention is this is based on a novel, which was, I believe it was a 7th Doctor novel. You have it. Have you read it?
I have read it. I did not read it before it was made or adapted into a story here because this was written well before there was even a 10th Doctor. And as you can see from the cover, for those people who are listening, there's a different Doctor on the cover. It's Sylvester McCoy. It's written by Paul Cornell, who wrote the screenplay as well, or co-wrote the screenplay. And this is a Sylvester McCoy, and I believe it's not Ace. It's another companion, Bernie Summerfield, which is a character that Paul Cornell created. I guess that was the companion after Ace. I'm not sure the exact history, but I like Human Nature and Family of Blood, the two-parter, so much that eventually I wanted to read the source material. And the book is excellent. The book is excellent. It's weird because for the longest time I couldn't picture another Doctor in this role or another actor in this role, but reading this, there's some differences to be sure, but it is amazing how similar it is in a lot of ways. And yet, Sylvester, I pictured Sylvester McCoy in the role, and it was just fine.
How close does it stick? Really close, or? Yeah,
I think that it's been a while since I've read it, and there are some differences, for sure. I don't know if the family is as brutal.
The Scarecrows aren't in it, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I don't think the Scarecrows are in it as well.
I think that was just RTD wanted a monster.
Probably. That sounds like him. But I think the fact that it happens right before the First World War is a big factor in this story, as it is in the adaptation that the whole we're training kids to go to war kind of thing, and how the Doctor gets swept up in that, or John Smith gets swept up in that, and how it's really not who he is, who the Doctor is, how John Smith and the Doctor are in some ways fundamentally different. And I think it's well explored in both, I think.
Another behind the scenes thing I know about this is I believe this two-parter was originally going to air earlier in the season, and then they decided to move it up so that the thing they set up here is closer to the finale when they bring it back, the Chameleon Arch thing.
Oh, that could be. Right, yeah. I wasn't aware of, but that makes sense. And spoilers, we will see it again this season, spoilers. And we will see, it's something that was created for this novel and then implemented in this story, but we've seen it play out in other incarnations or other seasons of Doctor Who after this.
There's a 13th Doctor thing that drives me bonkers, but I do want to talk about two little other behind the scenes things. One is, it's not even really a behind the scenes thing. I watched the Doctor Who Confidential for this, and they talked about John Smith and his relationship with Joan, and they had like a little montage of them, hanging out together and all that stuff. But it was set to My Humps by the Black Eyed Peas.
Okay.
Which is the weirdest choice. I don't know who decided that, but it was not a great choice.
No, I can't imagine that. I had forgotten that. It's been a while since I've seen any of the confidentials, but that's probably why.
Before doing the podcast, I tend to watch them. The other thing is that I saw in the confidential that I thought was really cute was again regarding David Tennant and I'm blanking on her name, the woman who plays Joan.
Oh, Jessica Hines?
Yes, Jessica Hines. They had to learn the waltz for this, and apparently they got weirdly camera shy when the behind the scenes people were filming, and they could not get it for the longest time. They kept messing up, and there was like just a very long montage of them really badly doing the waltz and just bumping into each other and like getting more and more frustrated. And apparently the waltz is actually a fairly easy dance to do, which is why they picked it for this episode. Because they're like, it's a small village. They're not going to have like elaborate dances. But still, they just could not get it. They finally got it. But
they don't spend a lot of time on it in the episode itself. It's amazing to me that they had to do a lot of training or choreography, because I think the segment is only like not even a couple minutes where they're dancing. So, and it's mostly from the waist up, if I remember correctly. So it's not like, maybe that's why. Because
they didn't get it.
Yeah. I don't think you'll find David or Jessica on Dancing with the Stars, the UK edition. So
I feel like I've seen David Tennant dance, like do a choreographed dance way better. Didn't he do one in Good Omens?
Yeah.
He had that big long. They do that's even way more complicated than what they do in this episode. Maybe he just. Maybe he's like, I got to get better about this sort of thing. So how do we feel about what are your opinions on John Smith as a character? Because this is a different character, right? It's not the Doctor. It is a whole new character.
This is, if I haven't said it already, this is one of my favorite Doctor Who stories of all time. So I'm really happy to be on here talking about it and sharing it with you guys, because, and it's been a little while since I've seen it, but I've watched it several times. I love the characterization of John Smith, as well as Jessica's role, Joan Redfern. I really like Martha Jones in this a lot, with the exception of course, unfortunately she's saddled with the whole googly eyes over the Doctor thing for the whole season, which is really unfortunate, because otherwise I think it's really excellent. But I think the entire cast is done. And regarding John Smith in particular, I think this story, even though it was written for Sylvester McCoy, it seems like it's in the best hands of having David Tennant, the actor, play John Smith. As out of all the actors that have played the Doctor, at least prior to this, maybe this is different now, but prior to this, I just have a hard time picturing like John Pertwee doing this, or Tom Baker, or even Sylvester was difficult for me. Until I read the book, I was like, oh, okay, I kind of get it. But really, David really just embraces the role in a way that I think very few of the other actors, any actor, could do. I think he's really excellent in this. It's the kind of thing where, like, if sci-fi was treated better, they would be talking about BAFTAs and awards, for him and Jessica in this, I think.
Which I really love her. I'm a real big fan of Spaced.
She's brilliant in Spaced. Yeah, if anybody hasn't seen Spaced, they need to check that off their box, because that is a great series. Her and Simon Pegg are in that series, and it's pre Shaun of the Dead,
which she has a small role in. But.
Small role. Kind of plays the same kind of character that she does in Spaced, but it's a nice little brief reunion of them. But she's great in this as well, and I know she's gone on to do other work as well. And like I said, almost all the other cast in this is just excellent, because almost everybody is playing two people.
Oh, that's true. Because you got their regular self and then their family of blood self.
Right, exactly. And even Martha kind of has to play like she's like a 1913 maid for at least the face of everybody, and then she's also has to play Martha. So Freema's doing a good job too, I think.
This episode probably has one of my favorite Martha moments, which is when she starts like naming off all the bones in her hand.
Yeah.
Really love that scene.
I do remember when we were watching this, at one point I asked you, I was like, do you think that this episode would be the like classic that it is without like just how well the casting is for the villains?
Yeah.
Oh, it's brilliant.
They are having so much fun.
Especially Baines.
Yes.
Yes, absolutely.
Baines and his creepy smile. I don't know how he gets his face to do that. I don't care for it. It's good stuff.
I don't think I've seen Harold Lloyd, that's his name, right? Yeah, Harry Lloyd, in a lot else. But I would imagine that if I did ever see him, I would be freaked out, because I'd be like, oh my God, he's, because I don't know how you do something different now that I've seen him in this. I mean, he's so distinct looking and so, even before he gets possessed, he looks like he doesn't belong on the planet.
He's got a punchable face. not the actor, the character.
The character, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially like before he becomes the alien, you do want to punch him because he's just a little twit.
Yeah.
Well said. Yes, exactly.
I like the actor who plays Tim Latimer. That's his full name, right? Tim?
Yes.
And I also really like him he was in Love Actually as the little drummer boy. That's not to be confused with the little drummer boy from the song. But this, like, that is one thing, is like, this two-parter has so many ideas crammed into it. Like, we have the family of blood, we have the doctor is human, and then we also just have a psychic kid, because why not?
Right. We have the doctor, or the quote-unquote the doctor, sort of falling in love in a way that we haven't seen before. Because even though he did have the relationship prior with Rose, it was done much differently. This is much more of a romantic relationship that we've just never seen before. And there's a lot of ideas in this that I think, and yet there's a lot of things in this that really I think define, in my mind, what it is to be a Doctor Who story and what it means to be the Doctor. Like, I think the character of the Doctor is so well defined here in a way that a lot of stories just kind of take it for granted.
Right. It really defines the Doctor through the contrast of who John Smith is too. So
exactly. I mean, we find out that, the Doctor does all of this, to hide from the family of blood, but not because he's afraid of them, but because he's afraid of what he would do to them, which is something that is just so Doctor Who. Like, it's just like, who does that? Nobody does. That what makes Doctor Who. He's going to go out of his way and unfortunately cause people to die so that he doesn't, go all bad on him. And unfortunately, it's for naught, because he ends up probably being worse on them than he would have been before.
Yeah, and then he also, in a way, kind of kills John Smith too. So right. Yeah, you've got that. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Star Trek Voyager, but there's an episode called Tuvix, right, where you've got this character that's split by the transporter into. No, I'm sorry. It's a character that two characters are formed into one because of a transporter accident, and it become a one being. And then they decide to separate it, of course, to fix it. But in doing so, they get rid of that character. And so it's a similar sort of dilemma. It's like, yeah, that character was kind of created by accident, but he's got a life, and he's got a life of his own, and now you're going to kill it. And that's a science fiction thing. That's a cool science fiction thing, which Doctor Who doesn't do a lot of. Despite being a sci-fi show, yeah.
You think so. You think it's a sci-fi show, and it is, but there's a lot more fantasy, and even a lot of this stuff that's happening is fantastic. But still, that concept of what it means to be a unique person is very sci-fi.
I really, really love the line of when the actual Doctor, is asking Joan to join him, and she's basically like, if you hadn't have come here, would anyone have died? And that is such a banger of a line.
Yeah, that's the decision. Like, she's like, you came here on a whim, and he can't argue with that because he knows she's absolutely right.
Because of him, children had to use guns to kill scarecrows.
Kill. Like, we'll put that in quotes, right? Because that's not... I mean, they even go and make it a point to say, like, nobody died as far as those guys. But the people in the village died. Adults died. And the little girl died. Like, everybody who was possessed died. Okay,
so, I don't know if you know, but in the book, do the children still have to, like, shoot at the family of blood if there's not the scarecrows, or what happens there?
I don't recall the book well enough to know all the differences. It's been a few years since I've read it, so
I'm gonna have to read
I should have done some more research for this. So sorry
No
for
worries.
that.
I didn't read it.
but but everybody should, and that reminds me that it should. It's worth rereading. I mean, I do think it's a very solid. It's one of the best Doctor Who books I've ever read, and it just so happens to be. It was adapted into one of my favorite Doctor Who stories on TV that I've ever seen. So, but it is a solid read, even if you don't know anything. Like, because when this was being written by Paul, that was at a time when they didn't know if Doctor Who was ever going to come back.
I wish they bring Paul Cornell back to write more Doctor Who, because he's only done 2, right? This and Father's Day.
I believe you're right. And I don't know I don't know how RTD or the powers that be, select their chosen authors, but yeah, I would love to. I mean, he's written some great comics other than Doctor Who, but he's also written some great Doctor Who comics as well, and some other stories. I mean, he's a pretty good storyteller.
Yeah, he wrote for X-Men for a while, I believe.
Yes, you're right. Absolutely. He wrote Wolverine for a while in the comics. So good stuff from him. He's a great storyteller, and yeah, they could. And I do know he's a big fan of Doctor Who. I think he's done. I don't know if it was a podcast or print reviews of episodes, of classic episodes as well. So we all share that with him in common. Recapping and reviewing Doctor Who episodes. He's done it, and we do it.
I feel like he has more credentials than we do, but
For sure.
Well, the fact that he's actually written for Doctor Who does put him on a slightly more elevated level.
I've probably written Doctor Who fan fiction, so
I don't think that gets you anything.
yeah, probably not.
Well, it makes you higher than me because I have not done that. So
I submitted to one of those short trips.
Oh,
so
cool.
I wrote a little Third Doctor intro. I didn't write the whole thing, but I knew what the story would be. So
that's cool.
But is there anything else we need to talk about that we haven't covered?
It's just a really, really good one. I don't.
It is.
So, I mean, yeah. So, yeah. I take it you guys enjoyed this one? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Had you seen it before?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is not your first time watching this one.
Right. We've seen all of New Who. Because, like, when we got together,
Joe absolutely refused to watch any New Who until he finished all of Classic Who. And I was like, you're killing me. Like, new episodes are airing and I have to leave so that I can watch them.
Yeah. So finally I was like, all right, fine, I'll watch New Who. And then I think I started 9 around when was it Peter Capaldi was on air?
That seems right.
Yeah. So, and then we got caught up. So, and then we started the Classic Who, because I was like, well, I've watched all of New Who. Now you got to watch Classic Who with me. So, and we're going to make it a podcast. So we'll make it a job.
That'll suck all the fun out of it. No, just kidding. I do personally believe, and I guess you guys are halfway through this review-wise, but I personally believe that this is one of the strongest seasons ever of Doctor Who.
Interesting.
I think that Martha is she's one of my favorite companions. And granted, I do understand that some people can't get past the fact that she's, in love with the Doctor. And I wish that was not the case. So that is part of her character. And so that shows up all the time. And it can be kind of annoying and frustrating, although I like the way that ends at the end of the season. So I do appreciate the ending because she does something that not a lot of other companions have done regarding that relationship, which I appreciate. It differentiates her. But also, from the introduction to Smith and Jones to Shakespeare Code and Gridlock, I think they're fun. The Dalek ones are kind of a misstep, sure. And then, Lazarus Experiment, 42, kind of there. But then you get Human Nature, Family Blood, and Blink, which I think are like the 3 best consecutive episodes of Doctor Who maybe of all time. I like Utopia a lot. And then Sound of Drums is a typical, and Last of the Time Lords is kind of a typical RTD, we're going to mess up the finale kind of thing. But as far as like the meat of the stories and everything, I do find that, man, like I said, with Human Nature, Family Blood, and Blink, it's like, man, these are just three so good. Like it doesn't get much better than this when you're talking about Doctor Who.
That's fair.
I was going to say, that's definitely true about those 3 episodes.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, I think...
You have to understand that we just watched The Lazarus Experiment.
Yeah.
No, I get it. Because to me, I can't think of another season where you've got, in my opinion, if we're giving scores, 5 or 10s or whatever you want to do, top stars to 3 episodes in a row. I can't think of another season that does that. I can't even think of another season that has 3 top star episodes in the season. Maybe not in a row, but not in a season, right? So me personally, but so I really, really love this season, and I revisit it probably more than any of the others. I do
feel like there's just that big dip in the middle of this season that kind of knocks it. Plus the end's kind of bad, but yeah, those episodes are really good. But it reminds me a lot of the Matt Smith season, the one that has the God Complex and the Doctor's Wife and what's the one with Amy and she's old and trapped.
Oh, The Girl Waited?
Yes. And I think those are 3 top tier episodes, but the season as a whole is kind of wobbly.
Together.
And I feel the same way about this season. I feel like the season itself is a little wobbly, but it has top tier episodes in it, which is also a bit like season 4 of Buffy. Season 4 of Buffy has some of the best episodes of Buffy, but the worst season, season arc. So
yeah, I get that.
But I feel like Doctor Who is kind of unique in that you can have... It's so standalone sometimes that you can just have these amazingly good episodes in a season that maybe overall isn't that great, but there's the opportunity to have really good episodes because it's not super serialized.
Right. Well, it wasn't.
Yeah.
I think there was tremendous pressure to make it more serialized, and that's just the way TV is now anyway. A lot of television is you binge it instead of watching it week to week, so it's more connected and more serialized storytelling other than standalones and episodic. There's a little bit, obviously, there's hints of what's to come in this, but I also love the fact that in Human Nature and Family Blood we get the past, references to the past doctors. We see the Notebook. The Notebook is just amazing. You just want to flip through it. I'm surprised they haven't sold copies of it available. They need that merchandise because, I would love to have one of those notebooks because it's just fun to go through, you think.
There's also the meta reference when the Doctor's talking about John Smith is talking about his parents and Sydney and Verity. So
yes. Yeah, I love that. That's a nice catch. I didn't catch that the first time I watched it, but yes, that is there.
I didn't catch it either. Caught it this go around.
But it is so solid. But to me, that's what, if people say oh, I'm not really a Doctor Who fan, where should I start? Or what's a good one or whatever. I don't mind giving them Human Nature and Family of Blood to watch first because it does set the bar pretty high, in my opinion. But yet, it is, to me, a great Doctor Who movie. If you wanted to watch a movie of Doctor Who, this is pretty solid. And when it starts, you don't know what's going on. You're kind of did I miss something? I love that feeling where it just throws you into something and you're just what is going on? And you got to play catch up. And it slowly gets there. And I love the fact that it doesn't treat us like idiots. It slowly but surely tells us what's going on. And then you've got a reassertion of who the main character is, the Doctor. But then you've also at the same time got a couple of characters that are showing us, yeah, this guy's cool and he's wonderful, but he's also pretty bad and powerful. He's pretty something to be afraid of. Not only does Joan call him out on it, but the kid does too. The kid is terrified of him and that's why he doesn't return the watch right away because he's I don't. At one point, I think he says, "You're just as bad as they are." I love that sort of dichotomy. That's something that was brought to New Who. I think in some parts of Classic Who, even the Sylvester McCoy era, there's hints that he was something else. Well, certainly with the Valyard, right? Like, there's hints that, like, yeah, he's got a bad side to him. But it wasn't really explored in the first, I don't know, 3 or 4 or 5 incarnations of the Doctor, I don't think.
Other than the time William Hartnell almost brained a guy with a rock.
Yeah, I mean, sure, he could be a jerk, but he wasn't like, you didn't think he was like an evil, like, you know, you weren't terrified of him in a way. Like, you know, there's a difference between, you know, beating someone with a rock. I love that it's in the second episode, but, I think he's going to hit like Ian, right? Like,
I think it was some guy that was unconscious. So it was it was
pretty
cowardly.
It was already, like it wasn't even a fair fight. But there's a difference between like him going to pick up a rock and club somebody over with what Ten does at the end of this, which is terrifying. And we see shades of it in Runaway Bride. But even before that, in the episode that we did last time, New Earth or whatever, when he says to that nun, you know, you want to go to a higher authority? There is none. It stops with me. Like, he is on this huge power trip. And someone's got to hold him in check. And I like the fact that it's usually the companion. At least that's what New Who has already set up, that it's usually the companion. And here it's Martha who's taking care of it.
Yeah, I've said this before. I feel like there is this idea that the Ninth Doctor is very dark and 10 is very goofy and light. And I'm like, watching them, it's the exact opposite. 9's goofy and 10 is, you know,
just seconds
doing
away from
war
a mental
crimes,
breakdown.
You know?
Yeah. 9's got that wonderful 2-parter written by Stephen Moffat, one of my favorites. And that's a top tier 2-parter too. The Doctor Dances.
Absolutely.
And you know, but the whole point of that is where the Doctor's like, everybody lives. Like I'm going to make sure no one dies here. And that's not the case with this Doctor. Like,
to be fair, he does ensure that some people live for a very long time. In tremendous pain, yes. But they do live.
It's true. You got a point there. Absolutely.
I would actually love to hear Everybody Lives delivered in a way that it makes it terrifying.
Everybody lives. Yeah, like it's a total flip on it.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right. What a great dichotomy. And you, in looking at the actors, you would think it would be the opposite. So you're absolutely right there, because yeah, the David Tennant's Doctor here, I don't know if he really showed that, like, with 14 much. We didn't see him that much. But, he had a streak on him that you don't want to cross him. And bad things would happen if you do. Or if he's left to his own devices without a companion.
Yeah, that's eventually going to build up to Time Lord Victorious, for sure. So
Absolutely. But, yeah, I just, the concept, though, the idea that he does all this because he doesn't want to do that. He's trying to prevent him from killing this family. Is to me just so much something that, like, I can't think of another science fiction character that would do that. They would just be like, let him die, or try to do something else or something, but they would not, you know. And granted, it doesn't work out to be the best decision because people die and he ends up, like I said, torturing the family ultimately. But they, I'm not saying they don't have it coming, because as far as, Doctor Who villains goes, the family of blood is pretty evil.
I mean, there's a little girl with a balloon. That's creepy.
Out the gate, that's super evil.
Yeah. I don't know if they really used it as creepy as it could have been, but it just the idea of it is creepy.
I think it'd be funny if, like, one of the aliens possessed the little girl, but one of the other aliens possessed the balloon. I just think that'd be funny.
Angry about that for some reason.
I think this may be in the book, or maybe it been an idea for the episodes, but then they scratched it, which was that they take the forms of the humans, but they're not possessing them. So, like, their clothes and stuff are part of them. It's not clothes, it's them.
That does sound familiar.
And that's going to be found out when, like, I think Martha was going to spill her tea on the woman's handbag, and she would have screamed in pain because it was hot. And then that's how she would have found out, oh, they're aliens. But they decided that was too complicated.
Too much.
Yeah. Well, that's one idea too far, I guess. But I like that idea of... So that balloon could have been...
a part of her?
A part of that character. Daughter of mine.
Little girl with a red balloon is a very British or European symbol for the travesties of war. I mean, we see a girl with a red balloon in Schindler's List. Of course, there's the popular 80s song, 99 Luftballons, the red balloons. Like, yeah, isn't there a movie called The Red Balloon? Yeah, so very iconic imagery there.
That's true. I didn't even think about that, but yeah.
Because they are really, like, in addition to all the science fiction stuff and the things going on with the Doctor and the family, there is this whole...
On the brink of war.
Dark cloud.
Yeah.
Yeah, where these kids, like, war is going to happen. War is coming, and there's not a lot they can do about it.
Yeah, there's also, like, and they talked about this a bit in Doctor Who Confidential, but there was also, like, this idea of, like, they're training these kids for war, and they think it's, like... a good thing, we'll go, we'll get in, we'll do the thing, we'll get out. That's what war is. And then, the war happens and it's way worse than they expected and is, awful. So
I think also this storyline, in addition to all of that, has some of the most racially charged scenes.
Mm-hmm.
Which is surprising considering they kind of sidestepped that in Shakespeare Code.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, she's just from another like she's just from somewhere else, and that's like right. But here they make a clear class distinction with she can't go into certain rooms. She's always talked down to, even by the kids. There's the whole thing about like, yeah, this is prior to World War One, not World War Two, but World War One. So a lot of the British, most of their war experience is in Africa, like and so when they're picturing their targets, they're picturing Zulu tribe, right? They're picturing, like, I think one of the kids says, shouldn't they have spears? Like this kind of thing. And I'm like, wow, that's...
The teacher says, like, enemy from the dark continent or something like that.
Exactly.
Yikes.
Exactly. Yeah. And it is, there's a lot of text and subtext here that, you don't really get, despite the fact that I think, if I'm not mistaken, Freema was like the first, African-American companion, right?
I mean, it depends on if you count Mickey or not.
I don't.
The Doctor doesn't. Why should I?
That's fair. That's true.
If I could remove that guy from the entire franchise, I would. Do not care for the actor. Never liked the character. So, and the fact that he ends up with Martha in the timeline is just disgusting beyond belief to me. It's one of the things that I dislike about the franchise the most, probably. If I had to list the top 10 things that the franchise has done, that would be right up there, because I just think it was a disservice to everybody involved. But yeah, so anyway, for all intents and purposes, Martha's the first companion of color, and they kind of have some moments here, but this is the story that really kind of mentions it and uses it, I think, to its fullest.
Plus, she gets a lot to do because the Doctor's not there.
She's the only one who knows anything.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I love the fact that after he falls down, it's a very good pratfall moment where he falls down the stairs. And then, in the next scene, she's barging in and she's like, does he have a concussion? She's a doctor. Like, she's concerned and the nurse is there, and she just derails that whole thing. But it's kind of like, it's a great moment, because sometimes we forget that Martha's a doctor, because sometimes they don't mention it, because she's just a companion or whatever. But right there, I mean, her first instinct is to protect him, and she knows what's to what. Interesting that his physiology changed, that he only has the one heart, and all of that. I don't know if that was, they say the atoms changed or whatever, the physiology changed, but I don't know. I would much prefer that to be like more of a perception filter kind of thing, but whatever. They did what they did.
Yeah, I'm assuming it's somehow connected to the chameleon circuit that changes the TARDIS, though it doesn't work. But is the TARDIS a perception filter, or is it physically changing to whatever thing it's doing?
What's the difference?
I don't know. Well, the difference is, like, for example, with the Doctor, he physically changed so he only had one heart instead of appearing to have one heart. You know what I mean?
But did he?
I think so.
I mean, he says it changes him physically. So whether or not, the Doctor does lie. So, and we see that there is some slipping through the cracks because he's dreaming, even before the kid opens the watch, there's some things that are kind of seeping through. Like the family has tracked him. Like the family is looking for him and they've tracked him down. So even him being completely human, quote unquote, let's say like 97% human, that 3% is enough for the family to have tracked down where he is.
Yeah.
We didn't even mention speaking of things slipping through, the cricket ball
right
scene.
Oh boy. That is a scene.
They almost cut it because they're like, this is going to be so difficult to film.
Honestly, that would have been a crime.
Yeah.
It's a fun moment.
And a little nod to the book, because in the book, he doesn't have the pocket watch is not in the book. It's a cricket ball.
Really?
Yeah. Which I think it's much better to be the pocket watch. That's much more visually. You can open it.
Open it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know what you do with a cricket ball. Just hold it. So
I guess. I think there's a lot more interplay too with the companion, Bernie, and the family, if I remember correctly. There's a lot more like she goes on their ship and there's a lot of other moments like that. And I don't think, it's not set up where she's like a servant of his. So if I remember correctly, so there was a lot of rewriting done, but I think the core of the story is still there. And I think both of them are worth checking out, especially if you like this two-parter. Pick up the novel because, like I said, it's a top-notch read.
Here's my question: are both stories canon? And if so, how?
As far as I'm concerned, if it's on TV, it's canon. If it's not, it's up in the air.
Okay.
Hey, Joe.
Yeah.
Just don't worry about it.
I mean, they've established pretty much that everything on TV doesn't fit well together continuity-wise. So, yeah, don't worry about it.
Yeah, I mean, UNIT existed in 2 different decades somehow. So, all right, I'll let it slide, I guess.
Just don't worry about it.
All right. But I think we've covered pretty much everything. I think we'll take a quick break and be back for final thoughts.
Sounds good to me.
All right, we'll take a quick break.
Hey, Insane Ian, it's Luke Ski. Since you're the announcer, I need you to record a promo saying that my Animation and Stuff podcast has joined the ESO network. Say something about how I'm an animation industry storyboarder, writer, and voice actor, and that in each episode, I'll be discussing animated shows, movies, and other pop culture stuff with a different guest co-host each episode, like our fellow comedy musicians Devo Spice, Toni Goldmark, Carrie Dalby, and you. And each show ends with awesome comedy music tracks. And keep it under 30 seconds or Kevin Eldridge will give you a Chicken Town beatdown. I need it in the next 27 minutes. Okay, thanks, bye.
Luke Ski's Animation and Stuff podcast.
And we're back. Tony,
Hello.
do you know what time it is?
Yes.
What time is it?
Oh, you want me to tell you?
Yes, please. That's why I asked.
It is 7:21 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thank you for asking.
You're welcome. Thank you for answering.
You're welcome.
Do you know what else it is time for?
What?
Final thoughts.
Oh.
I'm going to do it.
Yeah. I thought you should.
Tony, you could. I don't know if they're still looking for people. I don't know if they still do that anymore. But when I was younger, if you wanted to know the time, you just picked up the phone and called the operator, and sometimes it would be a message, or sometimes it would actually be, most of the time it would be an actual operator that would tell you what the exact time was. So I don't know if they still is applicable, probably not with cell phones and everything, but that used to be a thing. So
it was like one number that you would call, and it was like the time and the weather.
Yeah.
And I remember when I was like little, like, but old enough that I have like figured out, like I have learned how to use the phone, I would call it all the time because I would be like, I'm making a phone call. I'm going to call time and weather. I got an important conversation to have.
Now I feel like if you called something like that, they would just be like, look at your phone.
You have the internet in your pocket.
You're calling me on your phone. Doesn't have the time on it. I want to know if it's right.
Do people even have landlines anymore?
My parents do.
I do. I'm one of those guys who's kind of paranoid. It's in my media package too, but I get a little discount if I've got internet, Wi-Fi, and a landline. But I'm good. If everything goes down, the landlines are still going to be solid. So if I want to reach people, the landline is still there. So it's a comfort thing, I think, maybe from when I was a kid, but we still do have it. I haven't used it in a long time, so I have no idea if it's still working.
We used to have satellite or cable because it was part of a package, and we would literally just never watch it because we had streaming. So, but we only had it to get a better deal on our internet. It was very annoying. Literally, the first time I got it, I was like, "Well, we'll watch shows when they air," and they weren't even in HD. So I was like, I don't want this. They were like cropped. I don't want that. No.
Oh man, pan and scan. No, thank you. No, thank you.
Anyway, final thoughts
or what?
It is a beautiful two-parter. It is Human Nature and Family Blood. I think it doesn't get much better than this as far as I'm concerned with Doctor Who stories. I give it top marks, 5 out of 5, 10 out of 10, whatever you're using. On our station Who, we say TARDISes, 5 TARDISes, and this is like a 6 TARDIS. Like this is so good. It's so good, and every time I rewatch it, and thank you for the invite again because gave me an excuse to revisit it, and I just enjoy it so much more. I find things in it. That's how you know something's good, right, or great, is every time you watch it, and if you watch it a lot, every time you watch it, even so, you'll notice different things, and it enhances the story and the characters, and that's a sign of quality. So it doesn't get much better than this. Sorry, guys, it's all downhill from here. Although the next one's not bad.
This is like a Doctor Who staple and a classic for a reason. It's a fantastic two-parter. I mean, the story and stuff is good. I really love the performance from the villains. Like, the rest of it is also very good. But their performances are what, like, makes it great for me, I think. They're having fun. They have a weird... I like it when, villains have their own weird cadence. They have their own weird speech patterns, and they're great. And they are delighted by doing evil. And that's also a fun villain archetype. So, yeah, this is a solid and a classic, and there's a reason why it's really good. And it's also really fun. Because sometimes episodes that are, like really good episodes aren't also the same episodes that are really fun. A lot of times when we're like ranking episodes or whatever, I'll be like, okay, hear me out. This one's a mess, but it's super fun. And this is both super fun and just like really well done. So yeah, top tier.
My turn?
Yeah.
I hated this. No, no, you got, yeah, this is perfect. I can't think of a single bad thing about this. I mean, there is the little, Martha crush thing, but even it's not even, it doesn't bother me that much in this episode, because it is playing with Joan and John Smith and all that.
This idea of like the domestic life versus the sci-fi space adventure.
So they work it in well enough, and it doesn't annoy me like it does in some other episodes. But yeah, this is just on every level, from the acting to the story to the like metaphors to all of it. It's all really solid and really, and like there is so many ideas in it, and it could be easy to just be like, oh, this is too much.
None of these ideas fit together, and that is not the case.
Yeah, everything works.
Every part of it is there for a reason.
Yeah. So top tier, which is so good because we have been, the past few months have been a trudge because the episodes have not been that good. But
not our faves.
Not our faves.
Yeah.
It's just that, it went, sorry for me just realizing this, but I was thinking about David Tennant's performance, and even though he's not technically the Doctor, he's John Smith, is this the first time we see the Doctor cry?
I don't know.
That can't possibly be true, is it?
It could be.
I feel like it can't possibly be true because we're
talking about David Tennant?
Well, no, I'm saying because we're in 15's era.
I mean, yeah, later on...
that dude cries all the time.
That dude cried every episode.
Yeah, so, but, that was to his character. But here, like, I can't recall, like, any of the others doing that?
10 or just like the Doctor in general? Because I know...
Well, I'm talking about like the Doctor in general, because I can't imagine William Hartnell or...
9 definitely cried.
Did
he?
Dalek? No.
No, the second episode. I forget what it's called. The one where the Earth blows up. Because the tree woman is talking to him about, and like a single tear falls down his cheek.
But in the one single manly tear,
Yeah.
not cry.
Yeah.
Not like ugly tears like John Smith does. Like, you want me to do what? You want me to, like, he's just like.
Yeah, I don't think we have seen full on ugly tears before.
But I'll tell you, the moment that he infiltrates their ship, and he goes from John Smith to the Doctor. I mean, chills. Like it's so, David turns that on, like off and on, and it gives me chills how good he is at just switching from one to the other.
Oh, he's also doing that like Patrick Troughton thing of like, oh,
exactly
stuff, and it's doing it
to go from that
purposeful.
to being like, you should never let me touch all those buttons. It's
Yeah.
Exactly. Like you just know the difference. Like you know the difference from one to the other just by hearing him. It's so what a great performance.
Just a top tier episode.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then we got another top tier episode coming up, so it's all good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, for a little while.
And then we get into Donna Noble and Donna Noble's.
That is one of my favorite characters of all time. I won't say season, but I will say character.
Yeah.
That's fair.
All right. Before we go, is there anything you'd like to plug?
Well, I do appreciate that as well. I am, of course, a crew member of Earth Station Who. We've been doing that podcast for well over 10 years. I think we're on 15, maybe. I don't know. We've done so many. We don't do the episodes in order, but we do new episodes when they come out, and we do classic episodes while we're waiting for new episodes. So we've done some Big Finish as well. We've tackled human nature on a couple of occasions, and we just Mike and Mary and Mel and myself all had to have a great time doing that. So that's a great thing. I also do on the same ESO network. I also do a show called Bat Chums with my co-host for that is Drew Leiter, and we review and recap all of the 60s Batman episodes, which is a lot of fun. And also I am a co-host on the Dragon Con Report podcast, which we are gearing up to Dragon Con. There's I think there's only 2 months away from Dragon Con now, which is just frightening. But there's a lot going on. So we talked to some really cool people. We've talked to some really cool people this year about all things happening with Dragon Con, and it's a fun time. So I've got some writing project coming up. Nothing I can announce yet, but stay tuned. So, and again, appreciate you guys having me on. In Martha's words, I love you guys to bits.
Aw. I have one quick plug, which is it may already be out, or it may be coming out soon. It just depends on when I get music for it. I have a stand-up special that I'm going to be dropping on this podcast feed.
I bullied him into it.
Yeah. I don't even remember what... Oh, we did a really short episode, and Tony's like, this isn't enough content. Do 20 minutes of stand-up. And I said, I'm not going to unless, like, a Patreon patron says I should. And then 2 of them did.
Nice.
So
because they're good and smart and wise.
So I'm going to release a comedy special. It may already be out. It may be coming out soon. It's called Joe Heath Type 5. So
he also, I don't know what this is. He won't let me listen to it until it's done.
Yeah.
So I'm going to listen to it at the same time as everybody else.
Well, you might get it a little early.
I would like to.
Once I get the music, you can listen to it. I don't have the music yet.
Are you actually standing up?
No, I sat down and recorded it. So no audience.
Less authentic.
It's a sit-down comedy special.
Yeah, it's going to revolutionize.
Oh, I see.
The form. So you'll just have to check it out when it drops. But if you like this episode of the podcast, you can check out more on Watch-A-Rassilon.com. You can also find our podcast, our Patreon, and more at Linktree/Watch-A-Thon. And I want to give a special shout out to Vincent E.L. for providing us with our amazing theme song and the eventual music for my stand-up special.
Thank you, Vince.
Check out more of their music at vincentel.bandcamp.com. And tune in next time when we talk about Blink with Doctor Who expert Richard Starkings. He'll finally get off my back.
I'm going to be so happy for you the day we finally record.
He's a regular at our the comic book store I work at, and every time he comes in and sees me, he's like, "We doing Blink yet? We doing Blink yet?" So
is that the guy who does the? He's the letterer colors.
Yep.
Oh, very nice guy. Very nice guy. I didn't know he was a Doctor Who guy.
He was the
He's just a Blink guy.
he was the Doctor. He was the editor for Doctor Who comics during the 7th Doctor era. He's actually written a couple of Doctor Who comics as well. So
that's cool. That's cool. Like in Doctor Who magazine. Cool. Very cool.
And he still letters them now too. So he is the biggest Doctor Who fan you will ever meet. I don't think there's literally a single episode he doesn't like, even the ones that are bad. But until next time, keep calm and wrestle on.
Goodbye, and I love you in a platonic, parasocial way.
I don't want to go.
And 5, very important, 5, don't let me eat pears. I hate pears. John Smith is a character I made up, but I won't know that. I'll think I am him, and he might do something stupid like eat a pear. In 3 months, I don't want to wake up from being human and taste that.
This has been a broadcast of the ESO Network. Be part of the crew and help support our shows by donating to our ESO Patreon or by shopping at the TeePublic store, which can all be found at www.esonetwork.com. The ESO Network, your station for all things geek.